One of the most common questions that I get when repotting a Venus flytrap is, do I really need to remove all the old substrate? The answer to this question is yes and no. If the substrate the Venus flytrap is in is fairly current, like under a year or so, and it came from a place that I trust, then no. I'll leave most of the substrate alone and sort of use the existing substrate as a plug and just move it over to the new planter. However, if you bought a plant from a nursery or big box store, I strongly recommend removing as much of the old substrate as possible. When you get a Venus flytrap from a nursery or a big box store, you really don't know how long the plant has been sitting in the current substrate. You also don't know how the plant has been watered or even what the substrate is made out of. Some nurseries have no idea how to care for a Venus flytrap, so they'll water the plants with tap water. If that substrate is filled with minerals, salts, and other dissolved solids, you need to get rid of as much of the old substrate as possible. On top of harmful minerals, salts, and other dissolved solids, the old substrate can have mold or mildew and even contain harmful pests. When you buy a plant from a source that you're not super familiar with, I strongly recommend that you get as much of the old substrate off as possible. If the old substrate is extremely stubborn, don't force it off. You should always do your best to avoid harming the roots when you pull off the old substrate. I'd rather take the chance on some old substrate than risk harming a healthy root. Do your best to remove the old stuff, but do not harm the roots if you can't. Take all the guesswork out of your planter and substrate and check out my Venus flytrap repotting kits for sale by clicking there. Learn total care and how to repot your Venus flytrap by watching the full video right there. Make sure to like and sub for more incredible carnivorous plant tips and tricks.